Hello and welcome to Mischief Maker Podcast. On this season, we are exploring all things the play that goes wrong here in New York City, the incredible 9-year run of the show here. My name's Chris Lanceley. I'm the host. I have been with the show for 7.5 years. I've been with the play that goes wrong since it opened off-Broadway. And today, we are talking with David... How do you pronounce your last name?
No, you got it. Try it.
McElwee,
yeah. You got it.
I got it.
That's like every audition I go into. I'm like, how do I say my last name? I think I'm going to get it this time.
That's me when I'm slating. Hi, I'm Chris Lanceley. I'm 7'3".
Oh, no. You said 7'3".
Yeah.
Yeah.
7'5". I will say I am prepared. I did ask David before we did the podcast, but I thought it'd be funnier if I still asked on.
I know. We're already doing bits.
Yeah, we're already doing bits.
Yeah.
And I haven't even announced why you're joining me today.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's because I, after 7.5 years, am finally stepping away from the show. And David is stepping into the show as Chris Bean. He's replacing me. And this is kind of a handing over of the mustache episode, I suppose.
Yeah.
Not physically. That would be painful and difficult.
That's behind the paywall.
Yeah, exactly. That's on Patreon. I don't think we have a Patreon, but if we did,
I want to say I can't replace you because, gosh, you are so much of the cast's energy and people love you so much. Let me just tell this story about the first time I met you, which was a few days ago.
Yep.
At a put-in rehearsal for Reed Vacation Swing.
There's so many things you could say right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got an email for Reed's put-in that says, Reed's put-in will be at such and such a time, which was right after my rehearsal, and I thought, maybe I'll stay. And then it said, it's WWE themed, and I had no idea what that meant until I saw you show up in a gold unitard, gold mask, and gold cape, and that's how we met.
Yeah, that was the first time. I mean, it's a pretty good first impression, I think.
Yeah, accurate.
It encapsulates kind of who I am.
As
a person. Yeah.
you really gave it all in that one moment.
Yeah, just gold head to toe.
I was asking you,
mask.
Yeah, I was like, is it always this good? Like, do I have to really up my game? They're like, I think that one was really, really good because it was Chris's last put-in.
It was.
And, or Lanceley, as they call you.
Yeah, they call me Lanceley.
Yeah. Well, because there's so many Chris's.
There's so many Chris's in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the character Chris. That's always confusing, Chris and Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's fun that we ended our intro with our intro. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to send it to commercial. So we have an ad break now.
Oh, great.
That's what we do. We do 2 minutes at the beginning. I think we've gone over slightly, and then I'll send it to an ad break.
Lovely.
So
I interjected a little more than I should have.
No, you didn't. This is perfect.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah, enjoy the ads.
Are you tired of feeling hungover? You have to try these new proton boosters.
We didn't even need to cut away. We could have just done.
Yeah, just give me the coffee.
Just give David the coffee.
Me undies, the only undies you want to show people.
Me undies.
No, me undies.
Oh, you undies.
These are just like typical podcast.
Yeah, I
sponsors.
thought me undies were just really long undies.
Like the ones you were wearing when I met you.
Yes, exactly. I do like WWE. I've got to say, I watched it. This is so irrelevant to the podcast, but I watched it live a few months ago, and you see it so much on TV. I never considered it as a performance art, like a live performance art, and it's wonderful.
What, did you go to like Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, I went to Madison Square Garden and watched Monday Night Raw.
Oh wow!
And it was wonderful to watch. It reminded me a lot of what we do, of the play that goes wrong. It's obviously a whole different medium and all of that, but stunts every night in front of a live audience, working the crowd, villains, heroes. Will they succeed? Who will? Who won't? It's
I hope we're back from the ad break because that's actually really good.
I mean, we choose when we're back from the ad break.
Okay, great.
Think. Yeah. Are you done? Do you want to do another ad?
Let's see. Casper matters.
That we might have to cut. That's a real company.
These are all real companies.
They're all real companies?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, well, they clearly need to advertise more.
Now we're going to get free mattresses.
Yes. Oh, I need one, actually.
We need some backstage for the jumps.
Yeah, or just for a nap between shows would be nice.
That's true.
Yeah.
What do you do between shows?
I recently, we're back to it. I watch wrestling. Usually Brent watches over my shoulder, who plays Robert.
Yeah.
What else do I do? I'll nap sometimes. I maybe play some video games. Just anything to kind of take my mind away from the show just for 2 or 3 hours. And that's not because I don't want to think about the show. That's because I want the show to be kind of fresh when I get back into it and not be something that's been running through my head for the past 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, you need a reset.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with Bean, I feel. I played a couple of other roles in the show. I played Jonathan and Robert for short stretches as well, or Jonathan for a long stretch. I opened the show off Broadway as Jonathan before switching to Bean. But Bean is such a mental drain, I find. And I have to be careful. I don't want to make him sound absolutely miserable to you before you've had a performance yet. But
no, I think it's comforting to hear that because I'm feeling some of that. Yeah.
How have the rehearsals been so far? How far in are you? You're 2 weeks, is it?
I really have lost track of time, but it's been about 2 weeks. Yes.
Right.
I just had my first rehearsal with other actors yesterday.
It's very generous of you to call them actors. That's very kind of you.
They're very sweet, and
They are.
but they're also at the same time testing to see how much I can take.
Right.
Or they're being like really nice to me, but also like, but can we push him a little bit?
Yeah, it's important to be pushed a little bit.
Yeah, Chris French, who plays Jonathan. Yes. Like, one of the first moments of the show, he's lying there dead. And I'm looking down at him, and his eyes just start to peek open at me and just winks at me as I'm trying to remember my lines, my blocking, around a group of people who know not only all of their lines, but all of the lines in the entire show.
Yeah, and Chris understudies Chris Bean as well. Chris French understudies Chris Bean as well as playing Jonathan.
Right.
Yeah, that's one interesting thing. A lot of the company here off Broadway have been here so long that they've either played multiple roles or that they're intimately aware of what the other roles in the show do.
Yeah.
Which makes these rehearsals interesting, because we rehearsed in a new Robert as a vacation swing recently, and it was very hard for me when he went up on a line not to just give and feed the line.
Which I noticed when I was watching your performance one night, that there's a lot of times where you will sort of be mouthing the lines a lot intentionally as Chris Bean.
Mouthing along or prompting people, nudging them into, get on with it, that kind of thing.
Because you're in control. I mean, Chris Bean is in control, which is hilarious because I don't feel in control.
Right. Yeah. And you likely won't for quite a while, I feel like, and that's fine. But it's another interesting thing with, there'll be a point where you get to rehearsals months down the line and somebody completely new is in and you're playing Chris Bean and you are doing these little nudges, no, go up there, just get on with it, do these things. And you're wondering if they're thinking, wow, this David's a real pain. He's just pushing me around the stage, getting me to do things.
Right, because as the character, you're an obnoxious person to somebody who's...
Yeah, I need to get this play finished. You need to do these things. I'm desperate. And I've definitely taken a moment to say, hey, that's the character. Right? I'm not actually telling you to run up that.
That's an archetypal energy that I'm tapping into. That is not who I am. I'm a really nice guy.
Well, I could tell.
Well, you're a really nice guy.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Should we end the podcast?
Ad break?
Yes.
So how do you feel stepping away? Like, what are the plans? 7.5 years is a substantial run.
Yeah. It's bittersweet. I never saw myself voluntarily stepping away from the show. I love it so much. It came at just the right time in my life when I needed something stable and something that I could really get my teeth into, something that I could explore and be creative with for a long time. The show gave me that. It's let me play Jonathan and Robert, and for most of the time, Chris Bean. And there's so much to explore in this show, in the text, in the physicality, but then also the changing audiences. That's probably the biggest thing that kept it fresh or keeps it fresh for me is the audience every night is different and needs a different energy, a different tack, a different timing. And I never saw myself voluntarily stepping away from this, but it came to a point where I was tired, I guess. I was mentally and physically exhausted, and I was finding fewer and fewer new moments or new things, and I was surprised less. And I love the show so much that the idea came into my mind that before the show leaves me, I want to leave the show, if that makes sense. I didn't want to end up with a tired, repetitive, unsurprising, unexciting performance for an audience and for me. And I was slightly concerned that was going to happen. So I figured it was the time to step away from it and find what's next in my career or in my life. I've just had a baby like 9 months ago.
That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Which might have contributed to some of the exhaustion, I think. But, there are other things that are incredibly important in my life now. And as the show was for such and is. But I had something that I guess could fill the void of the show. And I'm excited to spend more time with him and go out and audition and, try something new, maybe a drama.
Right.
Although this is a drama for Chris, so maybe a comedy.
Before this show, were you doing mainly comedies, mainly dramas, anything?
I hadn't done theater in a long time.
Oh, wow.
Because I was working a day job that it was very hard to get away for a rehearsal process or a show process. And I was doing a lot of commercials, a little bit of TV, some voiceover stuff. And eventually this show came along and I was like, this is worth leaving my job to do this show.
Yeah.
And I also desperately miss theater. So it's all these things. It was just the perfect time for me to get into it. And the show gave me as much as I wanted to give it. And that's true up until now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard to leave. But I will say, talking about introductions and first meeting between us, I left our introduction, I left meeting you, it's just so thrilled with the person who was coming into the show. I care so much about the people at this show. It's a real family, it's a real community. And to have met you and immediately be aware of how well you will fit into that space was just so heartening and so heartwarming that, I feel like I can step away because the role, the company, the people, everything is in such great hands with David. I just got that energy from you immediately.
That feels really nice to hear because, I do feel like I'm stepping into a family. And in the best way, I wanted to say just about my audition for this, because I got the email from my agents that I'd be going in for this. And I had just done a pretty serious play up at the Kitchen Theater in Ithaca, New York, which was great. And I sort of saw myself see myself as like this sort of serious actor, which is fun because the play kind of lampoons that, which is, I think, healthy for me to do too.
Yeah.
But I go into the audition with Matt DiCarlo and Blair is who is a swing in the show, is reading with me, and I'm just having the best time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mark, the associate
director,
and I'm having such a good time. I'm like, I go home to my wife, who is more of a comedic actress. She studied clowning and more of this stuff, and I'm like, I want to be in this show. Yeah. I really want to work with these people because they were so present in the room. They were laughing on jokes that they've been listening to for at least 7.5 years.
Yeah.
And then I got a call back for the next day. And I had an audition right before that in the same building, and it was a miserable experience. And it was actually for another play within a play.
Right.
And so I went in that one, and there was no sense of play in the room. And I walked out, and I was like, I don't want that job. And I walked immediately into this callback where we just played for about a half an hour. And I was like, I want the job. I don't care whether or not I get it, because that had already renewed my my belief in people who do this for the right reason. Not that anyone doesn't. People are tired. Things happen. Yeah. But it was just such a welcoming room, and it made me so excited to be a part of this.
Yeah. I'm glad. I was going to ask about your audition process because that's exactly the experience I had in my first audition, which was, I think, a bigger process. You were the only performer in the room, the only person auditioning in the room, I suppose.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas I guess the original round was a huge group audition. We had at least 3 people for each role in the room, and we'd be sent off with scenes, and we would prepare them with other people auditioning, and then we would present them to the multitudes of people behind the desk. There were about 10, 15 people behind there, directors, producers, or readers, everything. And then all of the people you're auditioning with, and I guess against, not that it's an adversarial thing, but the other people up for your role. And it was so fun and so enjoyable and so different from the usual audition process that I dropped all my nerves and just enjoyed it. And I'm glad that can kind of hold true in just a room of 2 or 3 people as well.
Yeah, I think that's at the core of what Mischief is doing, right? Yeah. It's ensemble work, true ensemble work, which I don't know, it doesn't feel like it exists as much anymore. There's a lot of like, who's the star? Mm-hmm. How are we supporting the star, which is great, but like to just be like, go play. Yeah. Which is how I felt, and it sounds like how you felt.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. And I think that feeds into meeting you. I could tell that you were going to give to the company as much as you needed to take from them on stage. And that's such I feel at least that's such an important thing for Bean, is that he facilitates so much of other people's comedy in the show. It feels like.
Yeah. I mean, do you see him as the straight man?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, he does have funny moments. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he has jokes. He has wordplay, unintentionally for the most part.
Right. As good clowns do. Right?
Yeah. But it's sometimes, I suppose, and I've seen it be frustrating for others to not be the one kind of delivering as much of the comedy and more facilitating it for others.
Oh, right. But it's just, gosh, it's just so much fun to watch, though.
Oh, absolutely. And I really, personally, I revel in the tragedy of the role.
Mm-hmm. The heartbreak.
The heartbreak, the desperation of it, I suppose.
The optimism.
That we can finish this show, and we must finish this show.
Yeah. And one of the things in the audition process, going back to that just for a second, is that there was like 5 disclaimers in my audition notice that were like, please don't make jokes. Like, please try to make this work. And like, it was in bold, it was in italics, it was everywhere. And for me, I found that really comforting. Yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna trust them. Mm-hmm. That's what they want, because a lot of times you'll get the feeling like, they're saying that, but once you get in the room, they're like, you didn't hit the you didn't go up at the end of that line, so for the joke you need to and I didn't feel that energy at all.
Right. Yeah. I'm so glad that's in there, to be honest, because I that is probably one of the most important things, is not trying to make jokes and playing the truth and the honesty of the situation, which, when you hear the title, The Play That Goes Wrong, and you hear, it's a farce, it's a slapstick comedy, all of these things, I think that's a lot of people's impulse, is to, it's big, it's comedic, it's huge.
Right.
And we were talking on the escalator on the way up about how we so often now pretty much universally audition through self-tapes. Yeah. And you don't get feedback. You don't get that immediate kind of response and kind of clue to what the tone of the piece may be. It's
interesting.
Great.
And there was no self-tape for this. Like, normally there's at least I find there's at least one round of self-tapes,
like a screening.
Yeah, a screening before you get. And I don't think I wouldn't be sitting here with you if there had been a self-tape, probably.
Likewise, I watch them 5,000 times until there's nothing interesting in them, and then I send them on to my agent.
Squeeze all of the life out of them.
Exactly.
Yeah. I watch my eyes slowly lose consciousness.
I blinked at the wrong time on that one. Maybe if I just keep my eyes open the entire time. I just watch them until they are void of anything. Yeah. So I much prefer being in the room as well.
It's human.
Yeah.
And I am maybe most nervous but excited for some of the more interactive parts of the show.
Right. Moving on to the ledger.
The ledger. Yeah. Finding the ledger. I hope everyone who is listening to this has seen the show.
I'm pretty confident that most people will have.
But how did you get here if you didn't see the show?
Just fans of yours, I think, probably.
That's right.
Just following you around.
Yeah.
the ledger bit in the show, not if you're worried about spoilers and you haven't watched it, just skip like 30 seconds. Actually, probably a bit longer because we're going to discuss it. But a prop, poor Chris Bean a prop's gone missing. It's not where he expects it to be. He says a ledger, and then it's not there. The audience knows exactly where it is, and the hope is that the audience will let him know. And then there is kind of a set two between Chris and the audience, which is improvised every night. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, improv is something that's always terrified me. But I think the thing about it is like just the more I get to know this character, the more it's just going to be second nature.
Yeah.
And then I've been told that there are sort of some go-tos that you can use.
Yeah.
So I can feel some security in that.
Yeah.
I just started playing with it for the very first time yesterday with the whole cast in the audience, and they're giving me a hard time, and we're having fun, and I start to feel that energy.
That's probably the hardest it will ever be.
Yeah.
Well,
and the pre-show too, right? Just talking to people in character.
The pre-show is great scouting for the ledger bit.
Yeah.
That's what I found.
Okay, that's good to know.
Oh, there's a school group. Let's, we can work with that.
Yeah.
Or, you get a kind of sense of the age and the tone of what the house will be early on, what kind of jokes will annoy or get a reaction out of certain people. One of my favorites is if we have an obvious high school group in, I like to call them a middle school, which makes them furious.
Oh, yeah. That's the worst thing you can say.
It's interesting because it is improv, but you're improving the same moment on a nightly basis. So at a certain point, it stops being improv, I think, because you can't just be spontaneous and create new things about the same moment every night. I guess the improv comes from how it applies to the individual audience in that evening. And I always imagine improv as being kind of you direct the audience into certain responses in a way, especially when it's the same bit every night.
Yeah.
I like finding ways of kind of pushing the audience in a direction that I know how I can respond to.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well, because I have an archival video of you doing the play, which is just one of the tools. I'll also see it live. I also have seen it live, and but it's mostly so I can check what's going on, what's blocking, what's happening because there's so many characters on the stage, the sets doing different things, and so in the archival of you doing the ledger scene, it is a really long time before an audience member but no, the way you can sit in it, but because I love that's when this play changes from being just like a comedy to something. It's an experience, right? To get an audience to a place where you can all sit in discomfort for just long enough before something has to happen. It's such a it's the kind of moment we all miss during COVID. It's just such a live human experience. And to give people discomfort like that is just such a gift.
I do really enjoy when it goes on for a long time because it really feeds into what happens afterwards so much.
Right. It has to earn the celebration of finding the ledger.
And at the very end, it all builds up to that, and that long wait at the beginning. The longer it is, the better. I love that awkwardness that you mentioned there when the audience is sitting there. Shall I do it? Shall I say something? Then
because
somebody does.
I mean, that's almost the spark of this play. Is that tension between an audience and a group putting themselves out there on a stage. And that things almost always go wrong in some way, and that tension is felt. And then this play's just like, well, what if we explore that for an entire show?
Just stretch that out for 2 whole hours.
Do you know the satire, the Onion newspaper?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. One of my favorite headlines from the Onion is "Audience fears actors may break fourth wall," and it's all just from the perspective of an audience member who's like, "I knew something was up." When one of the, it was, I think it's a production of Joseph, and like when one of the actors looked out and winked at me, and I was wondering why there were stairs going from the
audience into the
into the house.
It's funny doing the pre-show. Sometimes I'm walking up the aisles and and say hello, welcome, thank you for coming, and then I'll see somebody who is very much trying not to be spoken to on the aisle.
Because are you clearly in the show at that point?
No, a lot of people are unsure. I've learned exactly where every seat in the house is so that I can seat people, annoying.
That's good. I was an usher at the Pantages Theater in Los
Perfect.
Angeles.
Yeah.
I got this.
I mean, Bean is very put out by having to become an usher.
Right.
Yeah. We're about to lead into an ad break. You can take a rest. You don't need to do any of them. I'm sorry.
No, that's great.
But I've been asking a mischievous question of people leading into the break, just to have a nice little bit of continuity between the episodes. And your mischievous question is, thinking forward to your first performance, would you rather have a dead, silent audience that does not laugh or respond to a single thing you or anyone else does? Or would you rather a house that laughs but at anything but a joke or a comedic moment?
Oh, man. I think my initial impulse was laughs at the wrong time, but I think after our discussion of awkward silences,
Yes.
I think it would be a really nice initiation if people just stared at me and then every other show from then on would be a joy.
Yeah, that's true, actually. That would be nice. It's like in baseball when they put a heavy weight on the end of their bat and they take it off to go out to bat. Yeah, it's kind of like you have terrible drag of a first show, and then, you get that weight comes off, and it's fine.
Right, yeah. So if anyone that can make this happen in production is listening, just get me a dead silent audience for the first one, and you're going to have a great run for me as Chris Bean.
Yes. All right, I'll see if I can organize that. All right, we'll be back soon. All right, welcome back. I'm here with David, what is it?
You got it.
McElwee?
Ooh.
McElwee.
Yeah.
It's a bad bit. It's a bad bit because people are going to think that I genuinely... It's David too, right?
Try it one more time.
This is David.
Some days.
David McElwee. Okay. All right, good. You're looking at a notepad right now.
Well, I took the ad break to take a notebook out of my pocket where I thought I'd written down some questions. I can't really read my writing. It's also it's like a mixture of questions and some of my notes to myself from rehearsal.
That's actually quite... what's the first note you see?
Neil or After Lights Back Up, page 22.
Okay. I was thinking it could be something we can explore, but...
Yeah, not that one.
Who's Neil?
No, the question was, okay, you got it. Oh, my God. But then I did... Okay, so... Oh, this was something I wanted to say. I said, the best email title I've had ever happened this week.
Yeah.
And it said, mustache fitting?
Yes.
Yeah, which I have now scheduled for Thursday, my mustache fitting.
Are you going with your own mustache, or
after consulting with you about whether or not to have a mustache, and stage management, Lara, they said have your own mustache.
Yeah.
Which to my wife's delight and horror, I will be having my own mustache for this. But if some filming or something happens, they want to have a backup for us.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
definitely.
they'll be measuring my
mustache.
Yeah, they'll be measuring my upper lip, getting the color of my hair, and making a special David McElwee Chris Bean mustache.
Wonderful.
And you have one,
David.
It's
See, I knew I could make a bit of that. That's good. Yeah, I have one as well. It's huge. It's massive. I
it's bigger than your...
I think it's bigger than my actual mustache, which is already quite big.
Are you going to keep your mustache?
No, I'm shaving it as soon as I get off stage on July 12th.
That's going to be good content, as they say, for social media.
Yes, I should film that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and I should put it in a little bag and then gift it to you.
No, don't put it in a bag. Just leave it spread.
Just leave it over your new dressing room station.
My spot. That's going to be my spot.
You've asked me. That'll be your spot now.
Yeah. I know. It's very weird. Yeah. I feel like all I'm going to be doing for the first few weeks is holding Brent as he weeps into my shoulder. Brent, who plays Robert Thomas.
Yeah.
Because you two are really good buddies.
Yeah, we're really good. We're really close now.
Yeah.
We both were in the original Off-Broadway company together. And we just, through the years, we've Monday night we've ended the show, and it's Tuesday's our day off. We used to go to the bar together, get a couple of drinks, talk about the show, talk about what's going on. And we just became closer and closer through the years. When I was Jonathan and all the way through Chris Bean, which I think I took over in 2022. I was also on the tour in 2019. Wow. Which was sad enough, leaving Brent for that tour.
Yeah.
But then about a year ago, we both had little boys. So now those two are little buddies as well.
That's incredible.
So going through that together, and our wives are good friends too.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things about leaving is actually leaving Brent, because the Robert Bean connection is such kind of a double act. And not working with him every night's the hardest thing. He's the first person I told as well. So,
oh, wow.
That'll be sad. You might have to hold him. You might have to wear a me mask for a little while,
just
just backstage.
Yeah, well, there is a bit of animosity. You know, there's something going on between.
Oh, absolutely.
Between the characters. Yeah. Brent's character, Robert, and Chris Bean, and I think it'll be very different for he and I, based sort of on the fact that I'm stepping into a role that was held by one of his best friends for so long. So, I mean, he's a very nice guy, and I think we're going to have a great time. I think it's going to be there.
Very close as well. He's a lovely guy, and the whole company, they're great people. As you've already noticed, I think
I feel very lucky. Every day is just such a great, it's like going into a playground, and it's like going to a playground that's been condemned. And there's an adult standing nearby. Usually it's Lara, our stage manager, and she's saying, no one's allowed to do this, but for right now, you get to go down the slide that's been condemned.
Right.
And you're like, all right, let's do it 5 or 6 times.
And all these people are there to support and wish they were doing it too.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah, it's great.
Although I'm really sore today. I did all my stunts for the first time.
Yeah. What did you cover? I'm curious. What stunts did you do yesterday?
Okay, so let's see. We did the when the shield comes down and hits me in the face. Us in the face, sorry.
Yeah. Together.
It's us in the face. We did the platform drops.
Right.
Into the pretending you're walking down the stairs when you're actually jumping from one level of the set to the next.
Yeah.
Which I thought would be the scariest.
Right.
Or most difficult.
Yeah.
But actually, it's the quick elevator rise. We don't have to talk about exactly how that's done, other than there's a lot of physical prowess involved.
Backstage that no one gets to see.
No one gets to see.
It's and the most challenging things that we do.
Yeah.
Going up the elevator and going down as well.
Right.
And nobody gets to see it. It's probably the most physically challenging part of the show for Chris Bean's
challenging.
Yeah. But I love it. I'm sure you will find the same thing. The physical moments that you find in rehearsal are not the physical moments that you have 2-3 months from now. Yeah. They are within the threshold of like what is safe and what you can do with it, but they change, they mold, they alter, and they become their own different beast. And that's what I was talking about. It's one of the reasons I'm here for so long, is that these things can just morph over time. Wouldn't that be funny? Would that work? And then it doesn't, or it does. And the joy of failing too. That's another big important thing. Obviously, the show is all about things going wrong, but
it's a nice ego check on the actor.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. See, that's why I think that completely silent audience would be a good. You're right. That'd be a good first show for you.
I think you're right.
Yeah, it is. It is an ego check. Yeah, it's a great observation. Not only are you playing somebody who is playing somebody who is in a play, where things go poorly for them, and you have to experience that feeling of, things aren't going right. How do we get out of this? What happens? But you're also you're on a ledge with a lot of the comedy in the show too, where different audiences may respond different ways. In fact, do respond different ways. Has anyone talked to you about that? How varied our audiences are through the year, through the week, even here in New York?
There's been a little just like thrown in here and there, but no, it has not been a very detailed conversation about it yet.
It's something that I really enjoy, and I think you will really enjoy. Is 1 week we may have a lot of tourists, and a lot of tourists who don't speak English as a first language, perhaps. And the show, I think, is often recommended to those tourists because it's so physical that I think people can get a lot of joy out of the physical comedy in the show. And then maybe we'll get a Sunday matinee, which might be a slightly older New York or New Jersey-based crowd who are looking for wordplay and quietly listening to the murder mystery and trying to find out what happens, and are laughing less at the physical jokes in the show. And it's so interesting, and you're right, it can be a hit to the ego when you think you've had all these physical bits working all week, and then all of a sudden a house comes along that is more interested in the verbal comedy. So I don't know. It's just something that I thought of that might be really exciting as you step into the show. You'll be coming in the summer, which will be a raucous, full, big tourist crowd every single day.
Yeah. Actually, it's going to be all my family from Long Island for the next however long.
You're from Long Island?
I grew up in Florida, but I have a lot of aunts and uncles. My mom grew up on Long Island, and my cousins out there, and so I have a lot of family out there.
That's great.
And they show up.
And your first show's a Monday night, I think.
Oh
wait, no, it's not, because you're stepping in actually.
I'm stepping in
earlier
May
than when I leave.
29th.
May 29th, which is 2 weeks from now. It's just for those, because I don't know when this is going out.
Yeah, when that's going out. Yeah.
About 2 weeks from now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, your first show, because I leave fully about a month and a half after that, but I'm also going on, I have a month of family leave, which is so poorly timed. It's been in the calendar for ages.
I thought so. I thought maybe you planned it that way. You were like, well, I
had it before I even decided that I was going to call time on the show.
Right.
I had that in the books. I'm just going back to England and seeing family and taking our son back there and really enjoying that.
Has he been yet?
He's never been.
Oh, wow.
So that'll be our first time.
Yes.
So it's odd that you get a full month in the show and then you step away for a week and a half while I finish my run and then you're back in.
Yeah. It's actually, for me, that's a nice way to enter.
Yeah.
Knowing I'm going to have a week and a half to just recover.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel similar. I get a month to recover and rest and then have a week and a half of just enjoying it. And physically not dealing with exhaustion or vocal tiredness.
Right.
Yeah. It's worked out quite nicely.
Yeah.
And also that month is kind of like a freebie for you.
Yeah. It's cool. I mean, but it's also going to be nice because this has changed my life so fast. You know, I'm used to doing plays that run rehearse and run 2 months, 3 months, maybe 4, maybe 5. Yeah. But like I'm already contracted for 8 months or so on this, and there's a different level of saying goodbye to my day jobs, or and getting to be in New York and not having to go out of town and do something, and it's just been such a big change in such a short amount of time. It'll be nice to have the month and then have like a week to be like, maybe a vacation with my wife. Yeah. Maybe, who knows? Who knows? But
it is. That's one of the most amazing things about this 9-year run is the stability that it can bring to an actor's life or anyone who works on the show's life. I mentioned this last week with Kevin about how all these years have allowed me to feel comfortable having a family and buying an apartment, having consistent health insurance, and
people might not know, like if you're somebody maybe who's, I want to be an actor, or that's something I want to do. That is success.
Yeah.
That's such success, Chris. I mean,
why am I leaving?
No, but because you, I mean, the fact that you've already done what you've done is like if you're in drama school, you should be like, I hope one day I get to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a whole different beast being in a show for that length of time, I think. And that's one thing we can kind of chat about, I suppose, is longevity. If doing it, I had the same experience. I'd done shows for a few weeks, a couple of months, and I had to kind of learn a whole different tool set for 5 months, a year, 2, 3, keeping it fresh and exciting. Thankfully, the show itself helps a lot with that.
Yeah.
Is that something you've thought about at all, or can you even prepare for that? I don't think I did. It just hit me.
No, I was there was going to be something that's been on my mind to ask you of like we'll get to like, do you have some specific advice for some of that? But some of it is that I'm just going to digress for a second. When I played basketball when I was in 5th grade, I worked really hard all the time, like, at home doing my ball handling drills, shooting my foul shots. And then I would get put in the game, and I was so excited to get put in the game. I would immediately like horribly foul the other team and skin my knee. And then the coach would sit me back on the bench because I was so excited. And I certainly have that excitement going into this, where I'm like, I'll do it. I'll jump off the platform. I'm going to do a backflip when I get hit by the shield, and
I wanted to do that too. Physically incapable.
Well, and there's not enough space back there. But you have to make decisions that are going to make sure you're not out of the show. Make sure you have a responsibility to the cast as a whole, and maybe means checking your ego again and being like, let me just do this version of it that is going to hit and people are going to love, but I'll be able to do it 8 times a show, 8 times a week without, the worry of somebody having to jump in for me at the last minute. Mm-hmm.
That's actually a really astute observation that I hadn't factored into my thinking with that, I suppose, is physical and vocal longevity with the show. There's so much that we could add that is physically dangerous and exciting that maybe you could do once.
Yeah, right.
And then doing it 8 times a week for months and years. That's the challenge. And vocally being as a monster as well. Has that kind of hit you yet?
It did. It hit me 2 days ago. Well, I got home and my voice was tired, and I've been working so hard on this. There not a lot of nights that my wife and I actually get to like really hang out. Yeah. And it was one of our nights to like hang out, and I was like, I'm actually not going to talk that much. I'm going to be resting my voice and having tea. And then now I'm doing vocal warm-ups before rehearsals.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's crucial. That long stretch you're on stage from being hit by the shield through the end of Act 1, you don't get to leave the stage.
Yeah, so no water.
No water, Well, one thing I do, little tip,
okay.
I sneak a little like lozenge into my pocket, and then when there's a section when we're just sat there up on the platform while they're sword fighting downstairs, we're there for about 10 minutes, I just sneak it out and have that little vocal lozenge during that period.
This is what I'm talking about. This is why I brought my notebook.
Yeah. That's I use Vocal Zones. This could be an ad. I love Vocal Zones, British, like throat lozenge. A lot of performers. I'd recently dropped some off at Wicked because she'd run out. The person playing Elphaba had run out, so I dropped some off there.
That's really nice of you.
But they're wonderful. There's my tip.
It's a great tip. Any other bangers like that?
Oh, I'm sure there's many.
You can text me anytime.
I will text you anytime. I mean, we'll be around the theater a lot at the moment as well while you rehearse. I have one last question for you, and I'm just wondering how, as you transition from rehearsing in a rehearsal space to rehearsing on the set, which I think has happened recently. What did you know? What's that shift like for you?
It's really nice to have things in space, and actually, so it's been like I'll be in a pretty small rehearsal room with just some folding chairs, and then go to the set by myself still, and get to see the things and interact with the objects in space, and it really helps me know where I am. Like it really helps the memorizing, and the fluidity of the track. And so that's really helpful. But then once I was like, oh, this is good, I felt like I was getting like, okay, that was really helpful, and I feel like I'm pretty confident now. But then you put in the other actors because you're still trying to remember, okay, where's Perkins at this moment? Where's Sandra? And,
where are you?
And where am I? And like, who am I talking to? And stage management and Mark, associate director, will sometimes run around and be one of those people at a time.
Right.
All of a sudden, yesterday, I had everybody there, and it was like staring into train headlights right before you get hit. Yeah. And I forgot all the things that I thought I knew.
Natural.
Yeah. And so I think it's just there's sort of incremental building that they've gotten pretty good at. It seems. Yeah. Because then, that feeling is going to come back when there's an audience.
Right. After 9 years, it becomes a machine, bringing people into the show and introducing new people to it. Yeah.
And I feel very taken care of.
That's good. That's good, because I think as it becomes important for people, sometimes there's a week and we need to get somebody in and get someone ready. And I think it's really nice to hear that the personal side of it isn't getting lost, that people aren't being made to feel uncomfortable, that they're being rushed, they're kind of supported through it. Yeah. That's really nice to hear.
Well, I've heard stories of people having to go in rather quickly, so I actually feel like I'm being kind of pampered, which is nice. Yeah. And I'm trying to hold on to, I think I was saying this to Leanna, who plays Sandra, after our rehearsal yesterday. She was like, how are you? How you doing? And I was like, it was really fun because there was moments where in rehearsal, Mark, the associate director, has called it the white room. Oh, yeah. That an actor will go through. When something goes wrong, all of a sudden everything kind of goes white, and you don't really know where you are for a moment, and you can't speak, and you can't do anything. And especially Chris Bean sort of seems to have these experiences of the white room. And I was having those in rehearsal, and that frustration and that energy of wanting things to have gone slightly better. And There was things physically that were happening to me, and my hands were clenching. I grabbed my face at one point in a way that I don't do as David.
Yeah.
And Leanna was like, hold on to that. That'll be really helpful to you as we move forward, as you do this for potentially a long time.
Yeah. That's great advice. It's interesting playing Chris Bean, who is a character who desperately wants the Murder at Havisham Manor to go well. He desperately wants that to be a success. But also, you're obviously in a play, and I sometimes find myself leaving the stage with the energy of somebody who wants the Murder at Havisham Manor, the play, to go well. But maybe something's not gone well in the play that goes wrong, in our play.
Yeah.
It's tough. I find it tough playing a character who desperately wants the play to go well in a play. So I come off the stage with that energy. And sometimes I find it difficult to kind of draw the line of when something goes wrong or something frustrates me, a line goes away or something like that. That damages the play. The play doesn't go well. But then mentally, I'm like, which play? The play,
right.
The Murder at Havisham Manor, the play that goes wrong? Is Chris Lanceley, myself, upset, or is Chris Bean upset? Living in that environment is challenging.
I have one question for you that has probably nothing to do with anything, but I'm interested in it. So when we come back out at intermission and we do our second curtain speech, and we realize that a lot more people have stayed.
Yeah.
And we were sort of talking ourselves through how the first act went.
Yeah.
It kind of goes from that was a disaster to like, actually it was pretty good.
Right.
And like that goes fast, which like that's part of what I'm finding with Chris Bean is his ability to recover. So this is opening night, as we say.
Yeah.
As we say in rehearsals, every night's opening night at the play that goes wrong, at the Murder at Havisham Manor.
Right.
Is there a version, despite everything that's happened, when the curtain goes down and you've gotten out of your costume and the champagne's been popped backstage, that everyone looks around and goes, that was pretty good?
And who are you asking?
Like,
are you asking Bean or me?
I think I'm asking your Bean.
At the end of the show, when we're all backstage, yeah, that's challenging because if poor old Chris Bean is really thinking about it, the audience enjoyed themselves.
Yeah.
Whatever this disaster was, when we're doing the curtain call, the audience have laughed and enjoyed it the whole time, even if it wasn't the intention of his show.
Yeah.
But I don't, at least my Chris Bean, I don't think he is happy when the curtain comes down or the chandelier comes down, and he's off stage. I think he was so married to his idea of what it should have been that he can't acknowledge what it is or what it became. So yeah, my Chris Bean at least lives in a place of perpetual misery.
Failure after failure.
Yeah.
Just like a Bakovian.
Yeah. But perpetual optimism, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
That optimism is what keeps the audience engaged, I think. Everybody thinks we can get to the end of this thing, and Chris Bean tries to drive it to the end of this thing and make it happen. And if people aren't rooting for him or everyone in some way, then yeah, it doesn't seem to work. So I think his optimism of what it could or should have been is what defines who he is for me. It's an interesting question. I've not really thought about it in that way before. It's a nice way of thinking about it, I think.
Yeah, it's something I think it's probably, for me, I found that it's really fun to find questions for your character that you can't answer.
Right.
So you can ask them every night. And I think that is a question that I'll maybe continue to ask myself.
I want to ask you just before we end things, what are your hopes for your time in the show? What are your goals and hopes for your portrayal of Chris Bean, for your time in the play that goes wrong? And I'm not just talking about on stage, I'm talking about in general.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's a really
broad question.
No, it's a really nice question because I have been so focused on getting things right.
Yeah, ironically.
But yeah, why? It can be very hard to have community in New York, especially in the theater world, where we're put together and taken apart. I'm excited to get to know everyone who exists at that theater at New World Stages.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get to know the greater Mischief family, and like
Yeah.
you know, I know they have some projects that may or may not come to New York, and to get to know some of these people who've created this space, which I do think is ensemble based.
Yeah.
And I do hope that theater moves more towards that direction.
Right.
Because it's clear that they've created community, and I want to know how that works, and
Yeah.
to see if that's something I can incorporate into my career going forward.
That's a lovely answer. And I think you're so right. There is a wonderful community around Mischief, Mischief comedy. I love it when, you know, a show comes over and the original company comes over, or even replacements or whatever. It feels like a community, and then it feels like our community expands. It doesn't feel like there's another community there of people who are like-minded, but it just feels like our little group off Broadway at The Play That Goes Wrong just kind of expands, and we have more people who are like-minded and buy into the same thing as we do. So I hope, and I'm excited for more Mischief to come here for that reason. Yeah, that'll be lovely.
It will be, yeah.
Well, I'm very excited to get to see you in the show, and I'm very excited for the first time I'm brought back as a swing, and either playing Jonathan or Robert with you would be wonderful.
That's right. We might get to share the stage.
Yeah. I mean, you say might, I say almost certainly. At some point, we will share the stage together.
Oh, that makes me really happy.
It's been wonderful talking to you today. I'm so glad you took the time to come and do this.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. It's a strange thing to do, I think, an outgoing actor in a show talking to the incoming actor about a role and the performance. But like I said, I'm so grateful that you are the person who's taking over. I think you're a very like-minded person, and I think you will, and I can tell you will fit in so well in that company. And that is the first step along the way, I think. I can tell I already trust you, and it's lovely that you already trust them, and you're already feeling that sense of community that we have there. So I'm thrilled. If nothing else, me leaving the show brings you into this family. So that's...
Well, thank you so much. That's so kind, and we'll have to have another conversation like this on or off mic. You'll have to tell me what pub it is that you and Brent go to.
Absolutely.
And yeah, just catch up
Pubs.
after good to crawl.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're maybe not in one night.
Should we make something go wrong, like horribly wrong
At the
before?
end.
Yeah.
Well, I have got your name wrong the whole time, David McElwee.
It's all of it.
I got it right that time, didn't I?
You did. Yeah.
See, I was going to save the correct one for the very end.
Then
That was going to be like
applause,
the punchline.
applause.
Then, yeah, everyone would be at home applauding.
Check my notes if I have anything else. The history of mustaches, we can skip that. I think we're
Yeah,
good.
we don't have time for that. I think we're all set. Again, thank you so much for coming along. As we kind of discuss in this podcast, the 9 years of The Play That Goes Wrong off Broadway, it's so exciting to chat with somebody who's going to be part of the next however many years, and a huge part of the next however many years. David McElwee, thank you so much for joining. And everyone else, we have plenty more episodes this season. I hope you'll stick around with us for those. David, thank you.
Hey, thank you.